As I keep contemplating the life and teachings of the prophet Ezekiel, I find myself thinking about the Philippines as it is today. A country full of faith and resilience, but severely damaged by injustice, corruption, and cycles of betrayals from leaders who are supposed to be there for the people. It is very similar to read Ezekiel's account with the current state of our country. Israel's authority had failed on their duties at the time Ezekiel lived. Officials, priests, and kings were all deeply corrupt. Instead of serving others, they exploited their positions for personal benefit. Truth became inconvenient, justice was distorted, and the underprivileged were disregarded. I can't help but sense the echo when I look at our nations today. The slow destruction of confidence, the abuse of public finances, and the manipulation of systems. Today's streets, barangays, and government buildings may just be as readily hear Ezekiel's requests. God condemns the shepherds of Israel in Ezekiel 34 for feeding themselves rather than their sheep. I consider how relevant this passage is today in the Philippines. Many of our shepherds have forgotten the people they are supposed to look out for. In the low-income farmers, the underpaid laborers, young people who are losing hope, and the communities that are constantly waiting for the essential services. Like Ezekiel, I wonder how long the people will suffer as a result of the mistakes made by those in positions of authority. However, Ezekiel was a prophet of both hope and judgment. God promised restoration even as Israel began to collapse under the weight of corruption and exile. For me, the valley of dry bones have come to represent the state of our nation. On certain days, it seems as though our moral compass, national institution, and trust are all broken pieces. However, Ezekiel was asked by God, "Can these bones live?" "Lord, you alone know," Ezekiel humbly said. Maybe here is where healing starts, not by acting as though we have the answers, but by giving ourselves over to the conviction that God is still with us. Like Israel, the Philippines is still redeemable. Young Filipinos expressing truth, communities battling for justice, regular workers choosing integrity, and religious leaders who continue to regard public service as a vocation rather than an option for enrichment, are all examples and signs of optimism that I see. Ezekiel's calling serves as a reminder that being honest with God is the first step towards transformation. He confronted corruption with bravery rather than cynicism, even though it cost him a great deal. He let God's word guide his answer. Perhaps that is the challenge facing us Filipinos today, to be prophets of hope in our own little way, to stand firm in truth even when it is unpopular, and to refuse to allow corruption define who we are. Just like Ezekiel did, I pray that God will breathe a new life into our country, our institution, our leaders, and our weary people. I ask for grace to stay hopeful even when the valley appears dry. Even though the repair process may take a while, but in God's hands, no dryness is final.